Hello, darlings. Welcome to Anastasia's Academy. This is Anastasia, and today we will be discussing the circle of influence and how to use it to bloom where you are planted, so to speak. Generally, when the average person assesses their life, they consider a multitude of variables: job, family, friends, hobbies, health, things like that. What many don't realize is that these variables fall into two camps: variables you have control over and variables you have no control over. The variables you have control over are inside your circle of influence, hence the title. And those you do not are outside of your circle of influence. An easy way to understand this is to imagine a raft in the middle of the ocean. You're on a small raft, and all you can control is on the raft. The trick is, the more you focus on and develop the variables you can control, the bigger your circle of influence becomes. You gain influence over more variables. In the raft scenario, that would be maximizing the space on your raft and then slowly building it until it becomes a large ship. I'm sure you're wondering at this point how this is helpful. It may seem obvious, but in day-to-day life, it's something that we can and often do forget when we make decisions. And why not? It's so much easier to complain or to go do something fun and distracting than to focus on what is bothering us. But by reframing this, we can make tackling what is uncomfortable much easier, and as such be less controlled by it. The first step is identifying what is and is not inside your circle of influence. This may vary from person to person, but there are some constants that are in everybody's circle of influence. Feel free to try it out now. Draw a circle and write what you can control inside of it and what you can't outside of it. What does it look like? Some big ones that everyone has in their circle of influence are your attitude, your effort, your habits, your response to circumstances, and your values. Some big ones outside of everybody's circle of influence are others' opinions, others' decisions, your environment, and your results. Basically, you control what you put out and what you let in, but you can't control what's moving around you. The downside of this is if you get stuck focusing on what's around you, like others' opinions, you'll always be chasing an endless loop of defeat. And the upside of this is if you prioritize focusing on what's inside of your influence, you can and will always be moving forward, even if it is a circular forward. Progress may not be a straight path, but it is still progress, and you get to keep the results of it. Another way to think of this is instead of looking at everyone else's green lawn, you focus on weeding and watering your own lawn bit by bit. Eventually, it doesn't matter how green it is on the other side, because you will have a beautiful lawn that you made yourself. So that's the theory. But how do we put it into practice? Well, we start with what we know how to do and build upward. Like make your bed. You start with the boring stuff you don't particularly like, but will improve yours or someone else's life in some way. Here's a good exercise for this. Make a list of all your rounds of responsibilities, like school, family, self, etc. Now within that list, make a bullet list of what tasks, weekly and daily, are in each realm. For example, school might be attend a class, take notes, do homework, study for tests. Self might be hygiene, mental/physical health, relationships, and self-growth. Try to make them as clear as possible for your own reference, but don't worry if some of these are a little fuzzy. That's what rough drafts are for. Done? Now you have your to-do list. All the things you are responsible for, you have control over. And if you do them to the best of your current ability, then you master them and level up your skills, so to speak. You will improve your current ability and your life becomes much easier because you are capable of overcoming the challenges in it. And by overcoming them, you develop skills to do more things that you might really want to do. A small example of this is if you learn how to study, you can choose to study something that really excites you, like guitar acrobatics. A bigger example of this is if you learn to do terrifying, stressful things, you can do terrifying things with some confidence, like singing a duet with your crush or trying a new club. As you work on your circle of influence, you will be able to refine your list of controllable variables to be more clear and precise. And as you grow it, you will be able to add to it until eventually you don't have time to complain about the weather or about others' bad attitudes because you're off, too busy doing what challenges and excites you. And that is the end of today's video. Thank you for listening, darlings, and have a wonderful day.